Doctors thought this baby boy had no chance of surviving. However, when they carried out a C-section and saw him, they were completely speechless. This is the story of Nick and Brooklyn Schnarr's adorable boy, Charlie Schnarr, and it's proof that miracles exist. Nick and his wife were already blessed with two lovely girls, Sophia and Lily. They cherished their daughters and made sure they lacked nothing. Every morning, they got them ready for school, and in the afternoon, Brooklyn picked them up from school. After some time, the duo discovered they were expecting another baby. This time, they were pregnant with a baby boy. Just like every expectant parent, the news made them very happy, and they were even more thrilled because for the first time, they would be having a baby boy. It was just the perfect family they had always wanted. The American couple started making plans for their baby's arrival. They went shopping for baby things and made sure they carefully monitored the pregnancy. They never missed routine checkups at the hospital, and Nick made sure Brooklyn got as much rest as possible. When they told their daughters they would have a little brother soon, the girls were excited. They were thrilled that they would have a baby brother to play around with. It was an exciting moment for Nick and his entire family. Unfortunately, 5 months later, their excitement about their unborn baby boy would suddenly go down the drain. Now I'm sure you're wondering why. Well, it was because doctors diagnosed their baby with an awful condition that broke their hearts. On a fateful day, Brooklyn and her husband went for a routine checkup at the hospital. Sadly, after an ultrasound scan was done, doctors diagnosed their baby with severe hydrocephalus, a condition which is also known as water on the brain. According to doctors, there was excess fluid in the baby's skull with no way to drain it out. As a result, there was excessive pressure on his little brain. But how did this baby develop such a condition? Unfortunately, the doctors couldn't provide an answer to that. Nick and his wife were in tears when they heard the news. They couldn't believe that something like that could happen to their little boy. We couldn't believe it when the doctors told us our child had such an awful condition. You know, it completely took us by surprise. He was our first boy and we couldn't bear the thought of losing him. We were worried and didn't know what to do next, Brooklyn said. A few days later, doctors referred the expectant couple to Cincinnati Children's Hospital in the United States. There, they were expected to find out more about their baby's condition. At this hospital, they met with some of the most highly respected fetal specialists in the state. At first, the medical experts gave the couple a comforting prognosis and told them to hope for the best. However, after some point, they stopped measuring the amount of fluid in their baby's head. It no longer mattered because the baby's health was in grave danger. Our baby's condition was so severe. At some point, the specialists stopped measuring and monitoring his brain's fluid level because it was no longer important. The MRIs we saw were sickening to look at. We were in shock and just hoped for a miracle. Nick recalled. After a few weeks went by, doctors told the couple more terrifying news. They told them there was over a 90% chance their baby would not make it. However, if he was fortunate enough to live, he would be born with severe brain damage that would affect his quality of life. Brooklyn and her husband were completely devastated when they heard the doctor's report. It appeared their chance of having a baby boy was gradually fading away. At that moment, it seemed like the only realistic option for them was to get rid of the pregnancy. However, they decided not to do it. Rather, they vowed to do all it takes to have their baby delivered safely. They promised to love him no matter how he was born. Despite how hopeless things looked, Nick and his spouse made a decision that brought them good fortune months later. They turned away from science and put their faith in God. Fortunately, they also had family and friends who kept praying for them. Brooklyn was temporarily moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. There, she stayed at a hotel close to the hospital in case she went into labor. On the other hand, her husband traveled back and forth because he also had to take care of their daughters who were at home. A few weeks later, experts explained to them how to keep him alive provided he survived. The pair went through a lot of meetings with medical specialists. We had a meeting with palliative care regarding the use of life-sustaining measures. We also had detailed, awful and emotional discussions about the ethics of when we might need to remove or cease such measures which would cause our baby to pass away peacefully, Nick explained. However, he and his wife refused to give up on their baby boy. They believed God would keep their son alive and healthy. Time passed quickly and the day came for Brooklyn to have her baby delivered. However, about 15 minutes before doctors began the Caesarean section, they told the expectant parents another disheartening news. They informed them that their baby wouldn't be able to breathe by himself and would need a breathing tube. Doctors also told them that they would have to take it off and allow their child to go to heaven to rest peacefully. This made the couple very sad. They never knew that a miracle was just around the corner. The doctors took the pregnant woman to where the delivery would take place. While the C-section was ongoing, Nick was very restless. He kept pacing around and hoped that his wife and son would be okay. However, a few minutes later he heard something amazing. His baby boy was crying. Yes, you heard that right. The little lad was breathing on his own and wailing so loud. Nick couldn't believe it. Nick stated that it was the sweetest sound he had ever heard in his entire life. The couple welcomed their little baby boy into the world on July 8. The doctors and nurses who performed the Caesarean section were in shock when they saw the baby. They couldn't figure out how the tot was born perfectly healthy. Even though he had a moderate ventricular enlargement, they knew that could be treated with regular checkups. But how was baby Charlie alive and healthy? The medics told Nick and his wife that they didn't have a medical explanation for what had happened. They told us that somehow our son's brain naturally found a way to clear the blockage or reroute the fluid that was causing the oppressive backup of brain fluid. We believe it was a miracle from God. He proved his plan was all that mattered. Nick said, the couple recalled that during their stay at the hospital, they heard the words miracles and divine intervention frequently. In the end, God proved to them that He was in control of the situation. Even the doctors and nurses were sure of one thing. Baby Charlie was a miracle of science. For Nick, the mystery behind his son's supernatural healing was prayers. You see, for many months after he heard about his son's diagnosis, family, friends, and even strangers prayed for his baby boy. Miraculously, it worked. Isn't that incredible? The proud father said, I'm a practical person that certainly believes in science and medical technology, but I know from the bottom of my heart that God was involved in this. I give all the honor and glory to Him. Without Him, I know my son wouldn't have made it alive. Prayer is positively powerful. God is real and He still performs miracles. He was also grateful for the prayers, words of encouragement, support, texts, emails, and love he and his wife received from friends and family during those difficult moments. Doctors transferred baby Charlie to a neonatal intensive care unit, where he was taken care of. Fortunately, his health got better by the day. After spending some weeks there, he was allowed to join his parents at home. Charlie is alive today and continues to defy all odds. Without a doubt, God has a huge plan for him. This amazing story is a perfect reminder that we should never give up in life. Even when things look bad, we can always get out of awful situations by putting our faith in God. What have you learned from Charlie's remarkable story? How has it inspired you? I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel to get more awesome stories like this. Till next time, stay safe.